Welcome back to another episode of MDSN, or Mobility Doc Sports Network. I'm your host, John Snyder, and today we're getting into the Week 4 injury report for the NFL. Let's start off with some good news here. Nick Chubb has returned to practice in a limited role, and that is a great news if you're a Browns fan and a fantasy football player, as after that horrific injury, Nick Chubb is finally getting back on the field and hoping that he can help the Browns save their season, if we're being honest. Bad news for Dallas, however, as both DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons are expected to be out this week. Lawrence is likely done for the season with a Lisfranc injury, while Parsons has a high ankle sprain. It is unclear if Parsons will play this week, but he is trending towards the week after at the earliest. Now, a Lisfranc injury can be particularly debilitating. This is the reason why it's season-ending for Lawrence, is that specifically that Lisfranc injury is related to the articulation between some of your tarsal bones and your metatarsal, specifically that second metatarsal. And now there's a ligament that runs from one of your tarsal bones, the medial cuneiform, over onto the second metatarsal head. And that ligament is key to not only maintaining stability across those joints, but also helping to maintain that mid-arch of your foot, which is so important when you're plantar flexed and trying to do any type of athletic motion, whether it's running, cutting, or jumping. Now, a Lisfranc injury can not only involve damage to that ligament, but also a fracture of those tarsal bones or one of the first or second metatarsal heads. This is a season-ending injury for Lawrence and a huge shot to the Cowboys' defensive line, as they may be without Parsons and Lawrence for the upcoming weeks. Now, while we have Nick Chubb coming back from his knee injury from last season, unfortunately we had another serious knee injury occur this past week in the NFL. Rashee Rice left the Chiefs and Chargers game early due to what many suspect to be an ACL injury. At this time, there has not been any confirmation as to what that images show. However, he is looking for a second opinion before the team or himself confirm anything. So this may mean that he has only a partial tear of his ACL. The initial MRI, there was too much swelling and inflammation to actually see the ACL or other damage in his knee clearly, or he may just be looking at other options and different surgical routes for him to return this season. We will keep you updated on that front. Finally, the last most unfortunate news is that Jalen Phillips, the linebacker for the Miami Dolphins, is out for the season with a partially torn ACL. He is going to be having reconstructive surgery and is looking to make a comeback next season. Expect to see some more of Chop Robinson moving forward, as they hope to replace Phillips again this year after he made his way back from an Achilles injury last season. In more positive news, Austin Ekeler, the running back for the Washington Commanders, that feels weird to say, is practicing again after suffering a concussion in Week 3. He is trending towards playing this week, but it is still unclear as he has to make his way through the 5-step concussion protocol and be cleared by an independent neurologist. Now, if you're a Jets fan like me, you saw Aaron Rodgers a little bit hobbled at the end of last week's game. He continued to play through it, but he is on the injury report this week in a limited fashion with a knee injury. There does not seem to be a ton of concern, and he is expected to play this week. Finally, Davante Adams is out with a hamstring injury and will not be playing this Sunday. However, there is speculation that the Raiders are open to shipping Adams out of town. Many believe that he has played his last down for the Raiders. Joe Douglas, if you're listening, please go get Adams. We need all the help we can get. As always, we wish everyone a quick and speedy recovery, and Adams a quick flight to New York. If you have any comments or thoughts, make sure you put them down below. And thanks for tuning in again to another episode of the Injury Report on MDSN. Thank you, and have a great week.